I'm a spirit speaking, truth seeking, heart reaching, knowledge leaking, seeds sowing, harvest reaping, man of meager means. I have yet to leave, I'm still breathing. To quit, I have no reason. I mean, I'm asleep, but I be trying to live my dreams. I cannot even act if it's all easy. Either you gon' do it or you don't. Really, it ain't no in between. Baby, you can ask the sun, it's an everyday theme. Consistency in your routine is how you bring reality. Working like a slave, that's how I made this masterpiece. Living like a god, I lay at night, I rest in peace. They remember me, but I am not Haram or beef.
What's going on? What's going on, people? Give me a second. I'm going to get my tea real fast.
Islam, Sheik, we live.
Man, our introduction be freezing on us, man. Yeah, Brian here today be freezing.
I know. Let me move to a different spot. Hold on.
No, it don't be just you. It happened all the time when we do the intro. But I hope everybody having a good day today, man. We're going to have a good conversation because I always like to bring things back to my people because I like to talk about real things. And our topic is education. When I talk about education is key. So I'm going to ask a couple of things and share some things with my brothers and sisters to really give us a real eyes view of what can be done and what we should be promulgating and teaching and the big mission. So let me get my tea. And I'm glad Bailey's here. It's good for her to be here today. The universe always work like that. Peace, Noble Mozo.
Peace.
How you doing, brother?
Good, doing well.
Yeah. Well, without further ado, let's do our North American prayer. We're going to get to this teaching today. Allah, the Father of the universe, Father in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is our protector, our God, and our salvation by night and by day. Through our holy prophet, Nabi Ali, Shalom Alaikum, Ayah Asha'aya, peace. Amen, Hotep, all that good stuff. Whatever name, whatever language you give glory to the inner science and to peace, I'm all with it. But I want to have a real discussion today, especially for my brothers and sisters adults that have children. And I always throw that at people. Some of us don't have children, but a lot of us on here, we have children, right? Noble Lamar?
Islam, Sheik.
So if other brothers have children, I ask them, what do you want your child to be taught? And the stuff that you promulgating, would you let your child be out in the world teaching that? And most people will say no. So if that's the case, you would ask people, especially these brothers that say they Moors, where do your kid go to school? And where do most people kids go to school?
Public school.
Say it again.
Public school.
Public school. And then if you got a little bit of money, you would go to where?
Private or charter?
No, private. But we're going to talk about that charter. But I feel you, Moso. We're going to talk about that charter in a minute. We're going to talk about that charter in a minute. We're going to talk about that charter in a minute.
Wow.
Charter that's able to teach a schooler the same way we are. We tap exempt, religious, charitable, scientifically, educational wise. That charter. So if the public school is not doing it, then we should have what?
Charter school.
We should have our own. You damn right. For what the people don't, and we're not under public schools ruling. Now, have anybody ever heard of Andre Agassi?
Islam, tennis player.
Yes, yeah, He's a tennis player. He worked with charter school out here in California and on the West Coast.
He got one in Vegas too.
Oh, do he? Okay.
Yeah. And so when you see, but who is the charter school for?
Melanated people, misnomer blacks.
Underprivileged. Yes. Underprivileged kids, this, and that, and the other. Okay. So, but what is being taught? And this is what I'll be telling our kids when they say, well, they teaching them advanced this. So you're telling us our kids can't get this advanced so-called teaching in their community with the right ones, but also teach them who they are at a young age, or it can be imperative so they don't have to leave the community, so they don't have to think they have to leave outside of the community to become successful, to have businesses, and we can teach this community develop and bring all the good minds back to the community. That's what this is about. But we think our schools is nothing because we only letting the public sector do it. And then we're not understanding that we have a charter and we should be creating our own charter schools because that's all we own is our charter schools and our spiritual houses. That's what I'm talking about. We leaving the babies. When we talk, when all these adults on the internet talking all this stuff, and I say, well, where you send your kid to school? Or they go to public school. Okay, are you part of the curriculum? Are you going there saying what should be learned? What should happen? No. So where's the charter schools? Everybody say they got their own government, this, they build it, but where's the charter schools? Where's the schooling for the kids that's teaching this? Because Andre Agassi has a charter school, but then he switched and he's working with the with a lot of the democracy in that area to get extra funding. But what is being taught? When I talk about curriculum, this is what I ask brothers and sisters. I said, we're not even in the fight. We're not even in the game because we're sending our babies out unprepared. That's why. Because to show me the school, we see stuff on TikTok. No disrespect from different nationalities. No disrespect. But we see Europeans, Albions, or trailer like whatever, they got these so-called charter schools, whatever. And just because they come up with a stupid handshake with our kids, oh, they invited to the barbecue. Or they invited to the barbecue. But what they teaching our kids, because our kids can get all that other scholastic stuff from us. Our babies not being taught who they are. Our babies being taught some 16, 19, some straight off of a boat. And that's not American history.
Islam. Hey, Sheik.
Yes.
I know you early into it. I just want to say this because it was on my heart. I was thinking the other day, like, I was thinking of melanated kids, their experience with their parents, and you know, just what I see from other kids' experience, right? And I was wondering, and I was just thinking of my own experience. I was like, okay, how many, and it goes to what you're saying, how many conversations are parents having that's about life or about history or about, you know, teaching them about various sciences or the various states and what are the capitals. I mean, just your general conversation that you would have. How many of our conversations are just, you know, don't do this, don't do that, stop, you know, just almost adversarial in nature, so that we're not really taking the opportunity as misnomer blacks to really educate our children. We're leaving it up to everybody else instead of saying, you know what, we bear some level of responsibility. I should teach you some things. You say it all the time. I should teach you things that you don't know. Well, it should be more than just playing sports, you know, like we should be able to teach you something else. And so it made me think about, you know, that like how many of us is really at home having conversations, you know, that are about all kinds of things that you can be educating your child on. So they don't just think that outside the home is really where all the education comes. My bad. Peace.
No, that's what I want. I want these conversations. Islam, and you a father. You know, it just always behooves me when people say, well, we don't have the money. And I say, yes, you do. Also, you don't have the money to be a part of the community, and you know your kid fatherless, or you know your daughter fatherless, and you know your kid might be autistic, and you know I'm a professional in that, and all you doing is giving your kid medicine. That's no recovery. I don't work in these fields. I don't work in the fields where kids try to get adopted. These people not adopting these kids because they're not telling these kids their true case history until it's close to adopt them. They're not telling them all these kids' background and all the 15 medicines that they own. It's no recovery. It's no therapy. I'm telling you, it's charging insurance. It's a money grab. It's no therapy. And that's what I tell parents that got these kids. I said, how are you talking about you don't have no money and you letting these and the insurance being charged, but you don't want to pay a person like me that's a professional a couple $100 a month to not only work with your kid, to work with you and your kid that you may think autistic that don't speak, now they speaking with me. People seeing my background, people seeing the work that I've done. I have real clients in real life. And this is what I tell people. It's on us. Where the charter schools at? If you go to a church, your church should have a charter school. All the Negroes in there, well, I have a degree in this, and I'm part of this alpha community, and I'm part of this fraternity and all this, and I'm a Zato and I'm a this. Okay, well, where's the charter school? That's why I say we complaining. We got enough money. People act like they don't have money. Yes, you do. You're giving it to Uncle Sam, and you think you're getting a tax return. What is being taught at the school? People don't even know about Henry Hoosier. People don't even know who Henry Hoosier is. Why? Because they're not being educated over true American history. People don't even know who Peter Salmon is, Oliver Cromwell is, what really happened in the Battle of Bunker Hill when they whitewashed them out of the history books, what was really going on in American history. Our babies don't know that. They know some straight boat stuff, some 1619, thinking they from straight up Africa, and that's false history. That's all that's going to be promulgated. So how can the children be the future and we not teaching them? How can the children be the future and we got autistic kids, we got kids so-called on the spectrum, and I'm telling you, I worked in the field and all they're doing is giving these babies medicine. Can't nobody tell me no different. I work in this field. I worked in live-in facilities out here, behavioral health therapy facilities, live-in facilities, when I see these kids' stomachs just big as hell. You know what the director told me? Well, you're going to have to get your own because you care. I'm like, damn, really? You're going to have to get your own because you care too much. You damn right. Because they're supposed to be therapy. These kids coming here for therapy. This ain't prison. They coming here for therapy. Do you know what therapy and being therapeutic is? Most people don't. They just go, oh, well, I'm a behavioral therapist. No, you ain't. This ain't no rich field to get in. You have to care. And out here in Arizona, in the state of Arizona, I've worked in the field. I see what's happening with these youth. I see a lot of these kids, they like, it's just a revolving door. And these kids that's in foster care is just a money grab. And a lot of those foster parents don't care about these kids. I done seen a lot of youth, they be on drugs and all this stuff, but when a real man come around that care, everything changed. Because we're talking about therapy. This what I'm saying. Where's the charter schools? Our kids don't got to go to no private school. I keep telling them, well, what's being taught at the private school? I bet you your history not. That's the difference from public school and charter school. Charter school is under different and different laws. You don't have to have a public education degree to teach in charter school because it's a charter school. You can have those people that's in expertise. So if you have somebody that's teaching small business, you should want somebody that really have small business to come in there and teach your child the logistics. If somebody want to be an auto mechanics, but say they want to run an auto mechanics business, you can't have nobody in there that's a shade tree mechanic or someone just fixing cars. You need to have somebody in there that's an expertise that's actually running an auto mechanic business. You need to know these expertise. You have to bring people in to be experts in these fields, and that's to happen. That's all that need to be happening in our schools. We don't need to send our kids to no private schools where no one look like them, where their culture being stripped, where none of the teachers look like them. This is what I be telling people. I'm like, where's the schools? Where's the charter schools? Where are the churches with the schools where all the black people that got their education? Where are the damn charter schools? But everybody on the internet complaining about the world. Where are the charter schools? Because we own the charter school. We don't own the public schools. All this tax money that people giving away, where are the charter schools? What are teachers that know biblical studies and all that grant money that go back? Well, I teach Bible study. I teach this. But why are we not teaching it to the babies? It's because it's not the public school responsibility to teach that. Once our babies know the 1, 2, 3s and the ABCs, then what's next? I always tell people it is solutions. How? Listen, I ain't talking about what the church teaching. I'm talking about how things are set up on paper. I'm set up the right way on paper to where we can do things lawfully. This is what I be telling misnomer black people. Is grant money out there in every state, the Mott Foundation, all these places. If you're in Arizona, Texas, Atlanta, pull up on your phone Atlanta Grant Watch or Texas Grant Watch and see all that stuff for impoverished kids and things in the community. How you think Big U, my man, them that was in Cali, they was getting all that money for those football teams and all those youth services. That was coming from state money. A lot of that was coming from police services. And these Negroes got indicted, and these was ex-gangs. So you telling me people that's righteous can't do the same thing that these people doing because people don't know how to apply for these things. People not set up in the right way, and things go back. This is what I'm saying. We have to jump behind something that's real. Who diagnosing our kids if you're a polar bear and you got a grizzly bear diagnosing a polar bear? That's crazy. And well, we just give them this medicine, or we just give them this medicine because this kid learned different. Because you don't know how to teach this kid. You throw a kid in the classroom with some paper, and you think this kid is autistic, or you don't understand the different dynamics of when you learn or when kids been through things. A lot of things happen, childhood trauma, and it's never been worked out, and so it goes to what? Adult trauma. But you can't fix things with just medicine. You just can't fix things with, oh, my kid autistic, I'm just gonna give him some medicine for he can go in a corner like little Jack Horner, sit in the corner, and he just be in the corner saying nothing. That's asinine. And I done seen autistic kids become what? Independent. I done seen my cousin son become independent, working a job. He might not be vocal as the average individual, but the way he was is not the way he started, is not the way he finished. Because it's some type of education. And that's why I tell people education is key, especially for us that go to school and college. You go to school and college and go to school for education, then you gotta get a teaching degree. Yeah, for public school. Yeah, for public school. For public school. For public school you do. Not for charter school you don't. And then you can go get your substitute license, your teaching degree to work in a school and be a damn full-time substitute teacher. Ain't that ironic? Because right now teachers are quitting because a lot of kids are going to charter schools. They're not dealing with the public sector no more. They're not going back to school, especially out here in Arizona. A lot of teachers are quitting. So this is what I told y'all when I tell people, I don't have no dog in no political fight, but I know law and policy. And I know when people do things and I say, this is a beautiful time to understand who you are. This is a beautiful time to understand the religious laws, the educational laws. This is the best time for group economics. This is the best time. Because my Mormons, they've been doing this forever. Their religious rights trump everything. They ain't worried about what the average Negro on the internet talking about. And so this is what I be trying to tell people. Where's the schools? Where's the schools? When we talk about all the lottery supposed to go to the public school, that's what everybody been saying for years. Well, the lottery go to the public school. Well, damn it, ain't nobody been hitting the lottery that much. So where are all the millions at? Where are all the millions at? Will the lottery go to the public schools to build public schools? Man, that's crap. That's crap. That's our responsibility. That's the church's responsibilities. And I'm telling you, the churches ain't open. The church is open on Sunday. And when you go to church, it's all old people. No disrespect. Or a whole bunch of men that's jumping their asses around. Excuse my candor. Excuse my candor with a whole bunch of secret shit. And that organization is tapping in for the government. Religious, charitable, scientific, charitable wise. So it's our responsibility to do what? If all this tax-free money coming in, these Negroes don't have no reason to be complaining about what the baby's being taught. Why? Because you can have a damn charter school. That's why. In that big ass stupid building you got with all those classrooms. With that big building with all those classrooms, and then Negroes get on the internet and talk about, well, the church this, the church that, and the white man. The white man don't have no power over your goofy self. You don't go to no white man church, you don't go to no white man school, you don't go to no white man hospital, you don't go to no white man grocery store. So all that stuff is crap. All that stuff is crap. Negroes spend their time on the internet watching Love and Hip Hop, watching these stupid ass TV shows that make us go against each other, that make it look like men is stupid as hell, and we ain't nothing but some fucking cheaters. That's what people be watching, and it's all broken, retarded ass families. That's the view, and with their ass out. That's what the view of black people is on the internet. A whole bunch of goofballs. Families don't eat together no more. None of that stuff. And that's what we get. That's what we get, a whole bunch of stuff to where we see broken families, broken homes. Men is not men. Men got to be soft. But your granddaddy wasn't soft. Your granddad seen some stuff, he'll pop your ass in the back of the head, and all the nephews on that bull crap. But we soft. Talk about somebody being bullied. Being bullied? What you mean being bullied? By who? Not no another individual. Or it's too cold to walk to school. Man, that's crazy. This is what I'm saying. That fake love stuff, that fake church stuff. Church should make you soft. Church should make you accountability. Church should make you want to stand up. That's why the kids ain't there. The kids ain't going to church because it ain't nothing in that building for them babies. It ain't nobody that look like them they respect in there. What they trying to do is break them, like it's some book breaking thing. That's what that is. Like what these babies doing is a sin. Ain't a goddamn thing wrong with these babies. Because these babies ain't no worse than most of these old Negroes. That done did 100 times worse. That done did 100 times worse than these kids. And so when I be talking about kids, I be like, I see the problem. Why? Because they're not being raised. That's why they raised themselves. What you mean? If the mama going out all the time, the dad ain't around, ain't no uncle around, the woman ain't found a group of society of men to where the kid is going to be lost. What we talking about? Like, we don't want to have these real conversations. The kid get out of school, mama gone, daddy gone. What they doing? Video game. So what they going to learn? What the baby's learning? And then I be telling women that be dealing with men, you would just take your young daughter around these jackleg Negroes. This is what I be tripping. It's like, we so stupid. Every man you get, you bring your kid around this jackleg. But won't have them involved. Well, I want to homeschool my kid. You don't have no time to homeschool your kid. You don't even have a library. I'll be offering books to teach kids history and civics and law to give people for small donations. Saying you talking about homeschooling, you ain't even take the time to be like, I think I need to collect these ebooks from this brother and print them and buy them. Why? Because these are real historical books, and this man is an educator. I think I need to be tapping in a little bit. For you can not only be homeschooling your kid, you can be homeschooling yourself. Because most people I deal with didn't even graduate from goddamn high school and be on the internet. Well, you know, the white man education. But your ass don't even know how to read past a 3rd grade level. You only have a 30-minute attention span trying to talk about you for to teach your kid homeschooling. Like, are you serious? This is what I be saying when people talk about they going to study the temple with a whole bunch of old fogey fools, a whole bunch of old ass men. Well, you know, you can file this. What about your babies? What about these single moms? That's why I'll be like, I feel sad for these single moms and these babies. Leaving it all up to the teachers that don't even live in the community, that don't even understand the culture. And they say, because your kid got a little energy, oh, he's autistic. Based off whose judgment? Who can tell your kid is autistic because he's a little bit more energetic? Now, it's other avenues to see if a kid is autistic. It's some other things that need to be valued. This is the thing about educating and homeschooling when our kids can be evaluated and educated the proper way. You don't put all the kids in one classroom and they all brains are different, no matter if it's the same age. You have to be good in this. And it can't no school teach this. This is a gift. School can teach you paper stuff, but this type of ability to be hands-on, man, I know people be getting beat up in this community. A lady just sent me of her kid. She all on Instagram. Her son be kicking her, biting her, tore the damn door down. I bet he won't do that with me. Give me 2 weeks. All those behaviors is over. How? Because I don't work in it. I don't work with the worst of the kids. That's about he bite. I bet you he won't with me. I bet you that'll be the last time that individual will bite. I guarantee you. And I ain't talking about no physical fit. I'm talking about I'm trained to put people in restraints. I'm trained to work with things, and I've been trained to be a dominant figure, just like if you was out in the wild. To do what? Stand your ground. Because being hit and being kicked as a parent with an autistic kid, that's a no-no. That means you can't handle that child. It's like if you got an animal that's wild and barking all goddamn day. And your dog barking, and you just, well, I'm just gonna, well, you know, my dog is just violent. No, you don't know how to handle that dog, fool. So I know what I'm talking about. I worked in this field. I used to come home and tell my wife, be like, babe, I done seen this kid the next couple of days. This kid sitting like a zombie because they done doped this boy up because he got energy. I went ziggity boom. I said, y'all doping this boy up because these cheap ass behavioral care workers don't want to deal with it. They want to watch TV and eat fucking Scooby snacks all day and play on the internet and be playing with each other. That's the problem. And so you just get anybody in these fields to work like they some damn babysitters. You don't get professionals like me. I know what it is. So they give these kids medicine and their stomachs blow up because they give their ass milk and snacks all night and they be skinny as hell with big stomachs. This is what I know. They have to be active. They have to do things. They have to go swimming. They have to do things, special things, one-on-one they can learn, piano, all these things that they can do on their own. I know this stuff. And so when parents, we talk about homeschooling, imagine we had our own institution where people talk about, oh, I'm going to church. But imagine we had our own institution. Imagine people donating to our temple school. We got an institution and we have classes and we have summer classes. We have computers and the parents can log on their laptops at a certain time of day and I can be counseling the kids and mentoring the kids. We can be doing all this stuff as a community where this ain't when so-called happened, COVID happened or the pandemic. Oh, we got to learn how to teach the kids on the laptop. No, this is something that we do with kids that's remote and even kids that's local, how we can keep that connection. This is what I tell people. The solution is here. How? We have our own charter. We can operate off donations and everybody can get a tax exempt receipt. People can hold me accountable. The things that we do for people for small dollars, we can do it for our own community. This is what I be telling people. But what we do, we think it's other people's responsibility to teach our babies and I teach others. And I'm like, we got the responsibility to do this right now. I done seen kids in all the facilities I done worked in and being behavioral health therapies and working as a physical therapy and working at physical fitness directors because a lot of places they hire me to do physical fitness. I see what go on. I don't work with Jewish companies and Indian companies like, no, you don't have to have that. We want you, your expertise. You got a college degree. We want you to do this. Please come in under your organization. This is what I be telling people. And we be having churches and all these other organizations and all these sororities, and these people don't take advantage of it. And we be having kids that's special. But what we'll do, we'll send these people to other people. Why? Because they can charge our insurance and we don't want to pay. We don't think it's worth it, but we'll go spend money on designer clothes. We'll go spend money on designer clothes. When I got a European colleague that be like, no, I don't mind paying you $400 a month. They're like, this is the best education. This is the best thing my child ever had. The best. Take them from out that shell. Great chess player. Played the trumpet in the marching band. Came out out of all that. How? Because somebody cared and actually had the time. Sometimes it takes someone outside that household. Because a lot of times those kids, it be spirits in those homes. And when I deal with kids, especially like music and vibrations that come out to me, a lot of time I spend with a lot of youth be outside on the basketball court, not playing basketball, but whatever they want to. I'll just sit down in the middle of the basketball court, whatever they want to do, and turn that to a whole playground. Why? Because that's the skill that I have. Take everything from inside, turn it outside. You want to take your shoes off, take it off. But I'm there to make sure nothing happens. It's a whole different world. You have to know this, and no book can teach this. No book can teach this how to deal with how to diagnose each kid. You have to be around. And then it's a trust level that have to be not broken, but built first. The first thing level is trust. That's the number uno. It's the trust level. And a lot of times we think because they nonverbal like they not being verbal, they are being verbal. You have to be paying real attention. The eyes are verbal, head not verbal. Feet are verbal conversations when you in tune with what's going on. How I know? Because that's how I build verbal communication. That's how you build verbal communication. That's how you break distance barriers, all these things. And then number one is being consistent. If I have a certain schedule with a young man and a family, I have to be consistent with that schedule. Why? Because that's part of therapy too. The same way I have them being consistent on some things. So when we come together, we can take breath for our notes, especially those that communicate like that and say, okay, check marks. And we give high fives, we give rewards. It's almost like the Maslow's theory of hierarchy when you're dealing with business. Somebody do something, you want to congratulate. If something didn't go right or wasn't accomplished, it's not the end of the world. What is that time for? The time to say, how can we make this right? Okay, we might have slipped up, but how can we not slip up again? So what's some variables, what's some things that we can say that can kind of get us to be successful in this endeavor if we didn't do it? So now we got to talk about prepare. Now we got to talk about all the things that I may have done or I didn't do to prepare to what? Accomplish this situation. Oh, I was tired because I was doing all this day. Well, why were you tired? I didn't get my rest. Or I didn't do this. Or I didn't take my vitamins. Or I didn't work out. Or I didn't eat the proper food. All those things are barriers. And so once we start checking off the barriers, we start dealing with what? Accountability. Because you agreed to these. So now, once these things are agreeable, things have to be agreeable. It can't be your thing. It can't be your rule. It has to be agreeable. And those are baby steps. One accomplishment is amazing. Understand what I'm saying? And so once you understand how this brain works, that's when the magic happens. Then processes happen. How I know? Because it's a gift that I have. That's why I ain't worried about no old dog. I tell Moors all day, man, my mission is not no old dog. My muftis will tell you. That's why I got certain men with me. My muftis is the babies, the single moms, and the seniors. If you an old dog, you just an old dog. If you want to learn something, that's on you. But is that my mission? I'm not trying to convince no old man or what is right or what is wrong. That ain't my mission. My mission is the women, the seniors, and the babies. And if I get 100 women on my team, we're going to change this whole movement. If people understand the importance of giving to their religious and charitable contribution of their choice, and I give everybody a tax-exempt receipt, everybody can hold me accountable. We're talking about millions in one calendar year. And I'm transparent with everybody to show people what's going on. We don't have to say, oh, I hope the government build this, and then you are willing obligor to everything. You don't have any midwives when people be talking all that science stuff, and then they say you get pregnant, and then you go right to the damn hospital. Well, then what? You're a willing obligor on all their rules because there's no midwives. We don't have nothing. We're not teaching no other women how to be midwives. No, I don't know nobody over here that know how to build out, make our own tunics. Everything I get shipped to me. Our fez is with the proper perforations. I get all this stuff. I know how to get all the material, but no one know how to make it here in the States but the people that I have to send it to get it made from. All these things, like land. We took our pennies and got land. Yeah, nobody saw me on the internet like one of these religious people saying, oh, we raising money to get land, and these people get millions of dollars and it ain't no land. And I showed my people and everybody in the world, showed like we have 10 acres that we purchased, that we own. I can show you in your group how to get it. There's no gatekeeping here. It's just like when I go back to my city, when I talk about things, when I talk about grants, things that, like in the city, you have the Mount Foundation. But I know so many people in different situations, educators, and these people that say they want to be a part of the solution, but they don't understand the dynamics in the community to get these things that people pay for with their taxes, like grant money and all this stuff for the city to help the people, and they go back, and nobody taking advantage of these things. Nobody taking advantage of nothing. I'm saying all we doing is complaining. And this complaint can be over in one calendar year. How? Because our charter schools, our churches, that's what's supposed to be doing it. And everybody get a tax-exempt receipt. Like it's no other way. And we have our own curriculum. If Andre Agassi can do it, all these Europeans can have these charter schools. And then I tell people charter schools are not public schools. So it's under different rules and laws. We're not taking advantage of it. If our religious laws trump anything else, when I talk about people, look at the religious laws of anyone, of the indigenous people. So if our religious laws trump anything, what that tell you? We have the right to educate our children spiritually, historically, financially. We have the right to use our own books and science. We have the right. Why? Because we chartered. You can apply for grants, not loans, you know? And yes, Andre Agassi became a public charter because just like GCU, they play because they want donors. But we don't have to do that. This is what I tell people. A lot of them become, they play, just like GCU, they be profit from nonprofit. Why? Because donors, it's a money game. Andre Agassi started off private. What you say, Empress, you was born in a house via midwife. Absolutely. The religious laws trump all this. Like I tell people, I don't argue with nobody. Just like when I deal with my Toledo people, you know, they had a temple in California. They're like, no, we don't go to this. Nope, no, we do everything here. It's like my Amish people. The Mormon, nope, everything in-house. They don't deal with none of that stuff. They schoolings, they got their own schoolings. About to go. They got their own charter. And this, me and my wife were just talking about this. And everybody was like, well, why the churches ain't doing it? I just told you. When most churches are under the FBI, which is the faith-based initiative. That means they get certain funding from the government. And when you under the faith-based initiative, you have to teach government mandated religion, because you're under that mandate. Why? Because you got that money. The same way women be on that welfare in Section 8, trying to act like this. No, the government your daddy. It's rules. The only reason why you got that welfare and that cheap ass housing, because there's some rules. And if you break the rules, then what? So I be breaking this down to people. I say, listen, I hear that. I say, I hear everything, but it's solution to things. Yes, a person will start in the private sector, but then they become public because they be playing with donors. They be playing with stakeholders. But when I talk about in the community, people in the community, you don't have to do that. Why? Because everybody working in the community, everybody paying taxes, no matter how much or how little. You can divert that to your religious and charitable contribution of your choice and get a tax-exempt receipt. Because the whole thing is to offset the money you give to Uncle Sam. That's the law. And so when people just be saying, well, what about this? What about that? Well, what about a whole bunch of stuff? I don't care about those things. I care about things, solutions. In our community, doing something small is big. Because we're looking at the impact that we'll be dealing with our people, with the children, with the babies, right in the community. And you need to start small. You don't need nothing so big. It need to be a model first. It need to be a prototype of how things is done first. And I'm telling people this is the only solution. And so with Noble, with whoever that said culture collab, it's good to have these conversations. That's why I tell people, I said, I'm never going to get on here and be arguing with with this about some fake stuff that can be proven real easily. I like to have conversations. A lot of these people, just like LeBron James and Jalen Rose, they got their academies, but do you think they spending their own money? They'll do those things, and to get certain funding, they might have to be under certain a democracy to get that extra funding. It's going to be certain guidelines. So when you say, yes, this so-called person have a school, yes, but what's being taught? The 1, 2, 3s and the ABCs, yes, but let's see what type of history being taught. Let's see if they're talking that Christopher Columbus stuff. Let's see if they're talking that back to Africa Black stuff. And it's yes. No one getting no better education or becoming no more millionaires. Taking our kids away, and we can do this as a charter. So these are the conversations that I love to have with individuals, because I see it. I say, yes, you can do things private, but once you go in those sectors, you start playing that money game, and you start going from profit to nonprofit, from profit to nonprofit, from profit to nonprofit. It's a certain way. It's all have to do with what? Financing. And what? A profit sharing. Because those stakeholders want a profit sharing every quarter, or how it's set up. These is facts. And so even when I talk about education, when I say it's a thing in education called what? Program reading, or not program, but required reading. It's a certain thing that's going to be required in a basic public education that's going to subjugate the mind. Most books, the McIntyre books, all those books are put in a certain way that they call on a so-called required reading list that they do in public schools, subjugate the mind. And I already lectured of that. The maps and all that stuff, all subjugation. And they call that required reading in public, on the public sector. You're not going to get certain things unless you have a great teacher, because it goes against the curriculum. It goes against the reading list. They're not gonna teach you about macroeconomics, macroeconomics. They're not gonna teach you tax code. They're not gonna teach you about 501c3 all the way to 10. They're not gonna teach you about the 16 different trusts. These things are not gonna be taught. They're not gonna teach kids the value of $1. We're not being taught group economics. We're not being taught bartering. We're not being taught keeping little mom and pops things in the community. When I was getting my undergrad in business management, I wrote a whole paper on Walmart, how Walmart come into communities and destroy all the small mom and pop businesses. Like in the city of Flint, you had like Gilroy's, all those places you can go get all of the stuff to fix your houses. Walmart, the big box stores come and they can mark everything down for cheap. You take all the money and suck it out the community. And now the small auto mechanic store, even the bike store, even the plumbing store, it has to shut down because it can't compete. So Walmart, they come in, they suck all the money from the neighborhood, they gone. Now the mom and pop businesses that supported all the basketball teams, that may have a house for kids and recovery people that he supported of people doing the business, he can't have it no more because y'all stopped doing business with him in the community and he did community service and the Negroes took their ass to Walmart. So he ain't making keys no more. He can't, y'all ain't come to get the plumbing from him anymore. You go to Walmart. You go to Walmart. And everybody know I'm telling the truth. That's what happened in my city of Flint. Everybody used to go, what was it called? Gilroy Sean?
The automatic.
Yeah, it was one on Martin Luther King and it was one on Pearson. Both of them, I remember going. I remember I used to get my bike from there. I remember anything my dad needed, nuts and bolts, anything for the house, we went to Gilroy's. Ain't no Gilroy's no more. Not no neighborhoods. If you go out to the outskirts of the European neighborhoods, Grand Blanc, they got Gilroy's. How I know? Because I go and I be asking them, how long you been here? Oh man, we've been here ever since the 60s. God damn. The 60s? Yes, everybody come here. They don't go no Walmart, no place. They still go to Gilroy's. They still buy their bikes, go get their bikes from Gilroy's. If the pipe bust, they still go get all those things from Gilroy's. And that brother that owned that Gilroy's do so much for the community. He sponsored the basketball teams, the soccer teams. He the Boy Scout leader. He the damn referee. All that stuff in the community that you get from that one individual in the community. And this is what I'll be saying. We don't have no community. Because we take our money and go splurge it out other places. We making Jeff Bezos a quadruple billionaire. And I have the same thing Jeff Bezos have. I have books, I have turbans, kufis, everything for our community. I don't be afraid to talk about finances. All these institutions didn't come out the sky. It took money. And we can take advantage of this tax exempt status where I can give everybody a tax exempt receipt and everybody can claim it on their taxes, hold me accountable, and see what type of infrastructure we have in one calendar year. In one calendar year. See what we have, all the laptops and the computers, what I'm talking about. All of charter classes, which I can say private. When I say private, that means we are the one funding it. We didn't have to go out and ask the government to fund nothing. So we are a private charter per se. We operate off donations. Could we get grants? Yes, we can get grants to do things, but we can still ask for a donation for people time. It's just like I'm gonna try to say if I got a grant to do low income taxes, and say if I do it at the church and I say all taxes are free, but I'm asking for donations because I got these people in here that's professional to do taxes, like say my Empress and some of her friends that she done trained to know how to do taxes. And so I said, yes, we done got this grant to do your taxes, so it's free, but we have a little donation to say, man, for these people time, you don't want to give a donation and they doing your taxes free? If not, what's the service? That's crazy. You know, it's just like if any of y'all heard of a G card. It was called Genesee County Community Action Resource Department. At one point, it was called GCCAA, and my dad was the director for that. And so I worked for Meals on Wheels, and I was responsible for all the mobile meal drivers to make sure they take the hot and the cold meal to the seniors. If you was kosher, you can go to, I'll get your meal from the kosher facility where they make everything kosherly. And so this is the stuff that I'm saying. You have to be set up the right way. This is a service in the community. All this other mumbo jumbo stuff, it don't work. And in the summertime, this is the stuff that we can do for the youth, even for the seniors that's sitting at home. All these services, I used to get seniors houses done. Seniors wasn't eating meals. So, okay. I was allowing I was showing seniors how to get meals, how to get all these services, you know, because no one telling them. And the so-called church supposed to be an institution of information. I'm a source for information. When I say I ain't no person that just got into more science, all my muftis know me. I'm transparent. Y'all can look me up. I got CDs of me ministering in the church. I done traveled all over teaching just like this. This is not my first rodeo. My parents have doctorate in divinity. I done been to prisons lecturing to people. So what I'm telling people, the only way to the righteousness for our people is education. Creating our own infrastructure, using the money that we're giving away, thinking we're getting a tax return to say, let's trust something, let's build something. Because the only people that I can say they've been hustled, you got to say who you've been hustled by. If you've been hustled by anybody, you got to say who you've been hustled by so you don't go into a burning house. If you're dealing with somebody and they a PDF and you don't say nothing and you dealing with them and your kids done went through it and you see this lady dealing with it, you ain't gonna say nothing. That's a part of the problem. We can't let the small group of people mess it up for us, y'all. We cannot do that, because if religion was the way and all these people got these degrees and these educations, I don't care if you got your fraternity house, your Masonic house, your church, why there ain't no charter schools? Why it's not no library? Why we not using our funds to build our infrastructure and everybody think they're getting the tax return from Uncle Sam? Why? And why we don't use the money that we think that we got to give to Uncle Sam? Why don't we divert that to our religious and charitable contribution of our choice and build infrastructure and then hold that infrastructure accountable? Why don't we do that? All we want to do is make videos talk about the mega churches. They're giving their money freely. Ain't no one putting a gun to their head. Now, whatever these mega churches doing with it, that's their prerogative. You can't say brainwash. These people are giving willingly. But is something happening with that? No, because they're going to take money to do everything. This is what I tell people. Why are we afraid to talk about finances if we can do our finances the right way? Why? To build our infrastructure. No, Negroes want to beg. Negroes want to fill some paperwork. Negroes want to go in agreements with some other party and start begging on things. And I tell y'all, our religious rights trump everything. We have a charter. We use our money that we're giving away. We're using that money that you're smoking up or drinking up and buying designer and paying for these car notes to what? Use it for infrastructure. If you got a kid that's autistic or ADHD, they're giving your kid dope medicine and you okay with that. Why? Because you let them come home and play a video game. It's no therapy. I work in this field. It's no therapy. You show me any parent right now today that's giving their kid real therapy. If you're giving your kid real therapy, it's going to cost way more than what I ask for donations. I know for a fact, because it's going to be hands-on like I am. And I'm hands-on. I know this for a fact. I don't have the patience at the time to talk about a whole bunch of paper shit. What your kid want to do? These people be having kids. Well, I'm sheep this at a temple. What school your kid go to? Or public school? What they being taught? They don't be taught nothing. So what you teaching them at home? Nothing. People too worried about what people got going on and not seeing what's happening. I said our religious body and our charter school is the only thing we own. So we should be teaching our babies. And any more science, the More Science Temple of America was a school. It wasn't no Islamic sect. It wasn't no damn government body. That's cap. All that paperwork stuff is cap. It's paper terrorist stuff. Then you got these Negroes, well, Noble Drawley, he stole the science from Deuce Muhammad or Abdul Hamid Solomon. He had inspiration. That's like saying Kobe stole from Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Kobe ain't stealing nothing from Michael Jordan. He was inspired. So to say Noble Ali stole from Deuce Muhammad or Abdul Hamid Solomon, that's like to say I stole from Bobby Hemmett or Sheikh Anadia or Ivan Sertima or Amos Wilson or Dr. Rashidi or any other elder or scholar. No, we give homage. Like that, that's stupid, but that's what we do. Just like the semantics, more against more, all that stupid stuff. That's a waste of time. When I ask people, do you have children? Yes. What school do your kid go to? Public school. Let's see what your kid know. Nothing. But you know something. So do your kid go to a charter school where this being taught? No. So when you go in a so-called church on Sunday, is the person that's delivering the minister, is he ministering your nationality, your spirituality, and the right biblical history? No. So don't get on here and tell me this. Most people, girls, they'll go to church on Sunday. Or most of these people, they'll send their wives to go to church on Sunday, kids with money and everything. So what's being taught? And the Mason brothers, they act like everything's secret. Their kids ain't going to the Masonic lodge with them. How you a Mason and supposed to have something good, but ain't raising your son up in a Masonic lodge? Everything is secret. And people be having nieces and nephews, but you walk around with all that regalia all day. I say your time should be what? Teaching and getting with the right people to have our own charter schools. So behind the pulpit, history, spirituality can be taught. Finances can be taught, because this is not no poor science with me. I tell people, how can this be poor science? How can we be so smart and educated, but so poor? How? And everybody work, everybody got a job, but people still, they get their money on Uncle Sam and still don't understand that the religious laws trump everything. And our religious organization can be the forefront of everything, can be the educational house, because that's the charter school. That's where the so-called privateness come in, per se. But we watch all these other individuals have charter schools, Andre Agassi, all these other Europeans, no disrespect, that we see on TikTok, and they come up with a goofy ass handshake and we happy. And then when you go into classes and you see what's being taught, all the thing they teaching our kids, the 1, 2, 3s and the ABCs, well, they got stem cell classes. We can have that too in our community. Or they got computer classes. We can have that too. You don't have to go outside the community, or they teach them business classes. We can have that too. What else you talking about? Oh, they read different books. We can have that too. I have a full library. A full library that trump a lot of academias in schools. So what's the excuse? It ain't no excuse. Anything else, we'll take our kids to go learn. We'll take our kids to museums. I teach our kids how to swim. I know adults right now that don't even know how to swim. And the reason why their kids don't know how to swim, because they've grown sorry ass and scared of water. So they didn't introduce their kids to swimming. All the scary stuff that they were afraid of, they won't teach their kids this stuff. And that's why the kids today, they not using both parts of their brain, because their scary parents are in tradition, telling them to work until they damn near old and gray and retire with all debt and own nothing. And I don't teach kids this. I teach kids how to be dope. And when they graduate out of high school, they already know what they're doing. They already done did things. They already done opened up businesses if that's what they want to do. They already understand the value of a dollar at a young age, because that's a schoolmaster, not going into the world knowing nothing, but thinking the Lord going to fix it. I'm not sending our babies out in the world prepared. I'm sending our babies out when I get with our young men. I'm teaching them how to be scouts, per se. I'm teaching them, I have a curriculum. I'm teaching our young girls how to be stars of the East at a young age. Not just athletic ability, not just dribbling a basketball, teaching them how to be what? How can I say, well-versed, intellectually, being a gentleman, being an empress, all at a young age. So when they go out in the real world and when they compete in the real world, they understand that they are what? Not only, how can I say, going out to get something, you are the best. Why? Because you educated, you train. Why? This is what you do. And if anything, you can come back to your community and create. Why? Because that's what we want in our infrastructure, in our community. We don't want to raise our babies up and have to send them out yonder and leave all the widows, the single moms, and our grandparents in our community impoverished. And everybody say, oh, let's move out the neighborhood, instead of us buying the neighborhood back, instead of us doing a great migration, moving back into a community. Like, I live in Arizona, but I'm from Flint, Michigan. I was born in Tampa, Florida. My whole Michigan, my whole Michigan. My whole mission is to do something for my city of Flint. My brother was murdered in the city of Flint, Akil Jelani Goodman Bay. I got a lot of family that was murdered. And so what I'm saying, I have to come back and do some good to show our people, to show what can be done in other people's community as a blueprint, where we don't have to beg no one. All we take is the blueprint that's been going on. Look at the mega churches. Look at T.D. Jakes Church. Look at Bishop Morton Church. Look at the Winans, all the Negroes in Detroit that have been building churches for years. Who've been giving them money? The people. The people been donating. So misnomer Black people cannot sit up here and tell me they don't have their money. We just been shammed by a small people. But the right people can make that whole group of people look like jokes. You know? Oh, well, I know a lot of that, but like I told people, a lot of stuff is not my mission. Like, I marched. Like he said, partners, you should consider working amongst New Era. I know a lot of New Era. I know a lot of people, Morris in Detroit. I'm from Flint, Michigan. I travel all around the world. like when I tell people, see, they are really serious about helping their communities. I get that level. I'd have done that level. I do that level and don't broadcast it. Each year I help 100 kids, backpacks and all that. A lot of my mission is not broadcast. I lecture, I go to prisons, and my brother was murdered in the city of Flint. My baby brother killed Jelani Goodman Bay. So I don't have the energy to march because we're marching in a community of our own. We're not marching outside the walls. We are marching in amongst our own people that's tearing everything down. We are marching amongst the people that don't understand the value of voting, putting the right people in office. Your councilman, the damn governor, they don't understand that, you know. So this is what I tell people. You said, right? I heard you mention you were from that area. That's why. Yeah, I'm from the city of Flint. I travel all. If y'all look on my Instagram, I'll be in Detroit all of 7 miles. I'll be in the city. I'll be in the prisons. I don't have the energy to march. My marching days is over. If we're not going to put some money together and have infrastructure, then we wasted. And I'm not a street rogue, but I like I say, I support everybody's mission. That's not my mission. And is it levels for all that? Because I done been on that level. And when it's not happening in our community, when you can bring things in the community and nobody show up, but people outside the community, like I told you, I worked for G-Card for my dad. All those like government funding that can help people get houses and feed seniors. I used to be in the community telling our people, none of them show up. Only people show up is Europeans. They be there bright and freaking early. I used to tell people your grandma can get fed through Meals on Wheels. For real, all you got to do is sign up. No one will sign up. So my whole thing is I don't beg. If we organize the right way, it's grants and things to do things. If all these other people, like I said, if Big U, my man that's in prison now for all that stuff, if they were getting all that grant money from the police departments for drug and gangs and drug counseling and all that, and for youth in the community, I'm telling you, if people are established and saying, well, there ain't no funding, ain't this, why aren't they applying for those grants and loans? I mean, not loans, but grants that's in the community that's there. If the people not donating, because I done broke it down. How is the church surviving? Off donations. And some of the churches don't get donations from the people. So the people in the community that support what they're doing, they should be giving donations each week or each month, just like you would give to church. And that organization can give a tax exempt receipt. And that's how you can build infrastructure, if that's your mission. And maybe that's not these individuals' mission. I don't know. But like I say, church has been feed kids and giving clothes, just like a lot of people when I went to the continent of Africa, they don't give a damn about nobody giving them no clothes. We think that. Like it's the Goodwill got so much stuff. I'm set up that way. I'm gonna set my whole temple up in school to where people can come in there and get clothes, and you can come and donate, and I'll give you a tax exempt receipt. I talk about build infrastructure where people can do business. The same way the Goodwill is. The Goodwill is 100% profit. Why? Because people donate, and the Goodwill can give you a tax exempt receipt. I can too. When you donate clothes to our infrastructure, we clean it up and then put it back out there for people that can get it, or if they really need it, we give it to them. So when people be saying, well, link up with this, link up with that, I get that, but I'm 49. I done done a lot, you know, and a lot of stuff is not my mission, you know, anymore. My mission is not to be in the streets marching. If I know how to get things and I know how to get infrastructure, it just have to be if that is it that body mission. Now, if that's not that body mission, and their mission is to be, how can I say, advocates and to march and to do all those things, then peace be among them. But Malcolm and all them, they done that. They done that. The next thing has to be some type of infrastructure. That's all that I promulgate. I said I get all that, and all that stuff is inspiring. All that giving away clothes, feeding, that's dope. But hell, the Catholic charities do that. You go to the Catholic charities, they didn't get a hot and a cold meal and get some clothes. You go there and take a hot shower. I get all that. So my whole thing is that's the level of community service that I'm with. Because I can go out right now and buy people clothes. I've done did it for years. I used to do it through the churches. When the kids didn't have uniforms, you can ask anybody in the city of Flint, like that man, I bought everybody uniforms. Right now, I support the West Valley Health Summit, Women in Shelters. Still to this day, I don't broadcast it. I don't broadcast these things. I'm tapped into them for the federal government, religious and charitable and scientifically and donation wise. A couple of years ago, I used to take 200 kids to all the Phoenix Suns home games. All y'all got to do is pull it up on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. People used to see me going to schools, giving tickets away. So I know what can be done, but I just don't have the energy going backwards. I like progression. I like to move forward. A lot of things we done. So if we're going to march and complain and hoop and holler, after we hoop and holler, what, we going home? And then we're going to get up again and do the same hoop and hollering, do the same marching with the bullhorn, boom, eat breakfast, go home to our homes and do it again? Or are we going to do infrastructure like Andre Agassi doing, like these mega churches with all this infrastructure and money being sucked, and we just walk and we just look? That's not my mission. When we talk about, I'm from the city of Flint, Michigan, and Detroit, it's the whole flight of houses. You got single moms. In the wintertime in Flint, people was dying how cold it is outside. Okay, so while we ain't putting our money together buying houses, you got Negroes that act like they know how to do electricity, plumbing, masons to work with their hand. While we ain't buying all these houses, making it a religious community, making a damn difference. Because see, all that stuff is irrelevant. We can't talk about a community and we ain't willing to pick a community in the hardest hit fund, like in my city of Flint, where it's whole side streets that could be a whole religious community. And we ain't putting no money together, and we got these brothers that can fix houses, and we ain't moving people back in their communities, and we ain't fixing them up like my misnomer Mexican homies is, that's moving to the city of Flint. Like a lot of those misnomer Chaldeans, that's moving, a lot of those different Europeans that's moving to the community, that's buying these houses on land bank that Negroes complaining about, well, land bank, they want us to do this and that. Anybody, you don't have to pick them raggedy houses. And if a group of people get them, tear them down. What I'm saying is group economics. This is what I'm saying. So if this not happening and we marching down the streets and we stand in front of a whole bunch of raggedy houses and all these brothers haven't figured it out yet to do what? Adopt the neighborhood. And this becomes a religious community. It becomes your private community. People have to get buzzed in. You have your own security, just like the Jews, just like the European Jews. They got Jew time. This is what I be telling people. That's my mission. My mission is not marching. I can march right now. Like I said, hell, I get all my people with our arm. All we got to go do is get the right, go down to the city hall, get the right paperwork to do what we need to do, and done. Then after that, what we doing? We going home? And so I understand everybody's mission, but to me, that's old. Martin Luther King and all of them, they marched for civil rights. What the hell are we marching for? We're not going to put no paper behind nothing like my European Jews did. Bro, I don't want to, it ain't nothing I want to do. If we ain't going to build our own schools and charter schools and have our own thing going on in this nation, in the nation, man, it ain't nothing I want to do. It ain't nothing, I damn sure don't want to get in and march. It's freezing in Detroit. It's freezing in the city of Flint. I'm not going to be marching up and down the street with no bullhorn. In front of all these raggedy houses, and then we ain't, and then you say, well, how many houses do these organizations own? You know, how many houses do these organizations own that they done went in the neighborhood that they lived in all their life? How many houses have they fixed up and then went to the next house and fix it up and then get a blueprint? Say, well, man, all my brothers, you know, that know how to work with their hands, the electricians, what we doing in our community service, we fixing these houses up. We going house by house, moving our single moms and our seniors in the community so we can patrol it. The brother, you see these brothers right here with the feds is on, these are the brothers that patrol our neighborhood. Ain't no crime, ain't no young kids come down the street with none of that. Why? Because we accountable for the community and we fixing the community up. What, block by block? This is our what? Religious community. That's my mission. It can be done. It can be done. And there's no arguing with brothers and sisters to be done. We can have our own grocery store. How? Co-op. What you mean co-op? I just said it. Co-op grocery store. Everything in the grocery store is co-op. I mean, these are not hard. We can have farms. We can grow things. How? You got to have people on that land in that area to tend to the land. This stuff ain't hard. So I'll be telling people, move all the distractions, move the people. I ain't telling nobody to take their kid from nothing, but education is the only way, what? To freedom, period. Knowing who you are, your nationality, your spirituality, knowing what your finances can do, knowing the religious laws. knowing all these things, being self-sufficient. So schooling, when I say school, yes, schooling. Yes, schooling, because that's the infrastructure. So-called church is a schooling. Your culture is a schooling. That's the type of schooling we need. Not the rest of this stuff. So when a person says school, yes. If you go to church and Bible study and all that, if you go into your brotherhood after school activities, that's 5 days a week or 7 days a week. That's a form of schooling. Our babies need that. That's what our babies need. Our babies don't need to be taken from where they are. They need something to compare to. Once you get on that level, then you can create your own charter schools like Andre Agassi have done, like others done. And you don't have to ask for other funding and play with private and charter for funding. And you don't have to play with for-profit and non-for-profit to have stakeholders. Why? Because the people in the community can support it the same way they support the church. And everybody can get a tax-exempt receipt. Why? Because this is part of your culture. Because this is part of your culture. And most of our people is not educated. Most more that you will see on the internet, ask them what grade did they finish. And most of them didn't finish high school, and they brag on it. Or they try to say the white man this. I say that's crazy. Most more as you and me, they did not graduate out of high school, and a lot of them fresh out of prison. A lot of them haven't studied scholastically, historically, lawfully to really be proficient in in linguistics on all levels to say this is manufacturing. And a lot of people don't even have the understanding and knowledge to say that they may have been sincere, but based on the information that you might have got or you might have been introduced to, you were sincerely wrong. Brothers won't even do that. What they'll do, they'll continue to lead you in a burning house. You'll continue to go down a slippery slope, and I done protected everyone, and I've never sent nobody in no burning house. I done been through the fire. That's what I'm telling people. The only thing that's going to help the misnomer black man is education and how you speak and how you talk and how you let people represent you and identify you. And if we don't know these things, it's going to be a repeated cycle. And if we don't have the say-so or have a dog in the fight when it comes to what our kids being taught, educational-wise, it's over. It's over. If you ain't teaching your kid that they not know from no monkeys from Africa, if you're not teaching kids linguistics, if you're not teaching kids what nouns is and what pronouns is and what verbs are, you're not teaching them. If you let people on the internet just with AI and you're not reading no real books and not doing no real history, comparing and contrast from scholarship, all of it's a waste. All of it's a waste. And that's what I be saying. Trolls, I'm only going to get trolls, and I don't care about no troll. I care about real things. I've been doing this for too long for trolls to be worried about a grown person. It shows you something about them. It shows the aptitude of that grown individual that to be on somebody's page wasting their time. And then a lot of times, those be kids. Because when you jump, I always try to warn people. I say, when you jump on somebody's social media, you pinging off a tower. And once your name on there, I just write it down. And your name is like an ISBN number. So you pinging off a tower. All I do is sit into my IT guy, Issa, and he'd be like, and I call it Big Brother. He'd be like, this the house right here. Camera be on it live. Boom, 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 live, everything. Everything. I'll be cracking up. This is what I be telling people. It's like we on here for a specific reason. No one is incognito. This is how people get caught up doing things when they think the internet is not on a wide web. This is what I try to tell my brothers and sisters. It's like, come on, man. It's a way to do things. And if a lot of people now not taking their kids out of private schools, sending to charter schools, I ask every individual who own these charter schools and what's being taught, what type of history, especially if you call yourself a Moor and some historian and some goddess on the internet, and your kid what type of history is your kid being taught? Let's sit your kids down. Let's sit everybody on this internet that got these titles behind their name and they some more science sheik or some guru. Let's sit them and their kids down and let's see what their children say about all that guru science and all that more science. I bet you they babies know nothing. I bet you these individuals aren't teaching their kids nothing. But I bet you I can line down all rappers and athletes, and I bet you their kids know exactly what I'm talking about. So when a person say education is not key, I'll say that's crazy. I say, do your kid go to elementary? Do they go to middle school? Do they go to high school? So to say education is not key is some of the most outlandish stuff. Why? Because that means your child is being programmed out the womb. And then if they go on a head start, then out the womb, and even how your kid been fed, the lunch that they being fed, because the school, when your kid go through that whole system, what your child being fed, that bullshit cow milk, all these behaviors, lunch, dinner, and breakfast, are you going to think is natural? Why? Because out of the womb, that programming, you can't say, well, yep, we have our own homeschooling. I just went through a midwife, and yep, my kid may go to the public schools, but after that, he gets the bus drop him off. We're at the temple of the school, and we pick him up after 5, after he went through his cultural school, after he went over his make sure his basic was right. Then he went over agriculture. Then he went over his martial arts. Then he went over weightlifting, keeping his room clean. Then he meditated and decompressing and talk about what's going on in today, knowing how to problem solve. All these things, which I know the adults don't know how to do, because you see them on the internet arguing over semantics and over Eurocentric and Negrocentric propaganda, where they can't make it right. So what you think the baby's gonna do? The babies, they model what? The adult. You see on social media when the grandbabies be around their grandparents and they be walking like their back hurt. What do the babies do? The baby be walking just like that. So you know what I'm telling you, everything is modeled. So if we allow this type of projection and this type of model to go out at the majority of what our kids know and what we teach it, that's a disservice. And this is what I'm trying to tell my people. How can you say education is not key? And if anybody got kids on here, ask them, do they go to school? Yes. Ask them, do they homeschool? No. And if you say, well, I teach my kid at home, then I ask you, what do you? Well, we study at home. Then I say, well, what do you study at home? People be butthurt. You just can't say this. And I homeschool. But what are you teaching your kid at home? Let me see your library. What are you teaching your kid at? What type of life skills? What type of skills are you teaching your kid at home if you're homeschooling? You can't be upset with nobody. You should be old. You should be inspiring to people. Thomas wasn't doubting in the biblical scripture. You saying this and that and the other. Well, show me. I want to be a damn witness too. But the first thing, you doubting. Thomas wasn't doubting. You saying all this. You say you homeschool. What you teaching your kid at home? I know most girls don't even know how to cook. I know most girls don't even know how to balance a checkbook. Boys neither. So what we talking about? Well, what we teaching the kid at home? I know a lot of kids don't know how to deal with an old school clock. I'll be like, huh? So what we talk about? I know young boys don't know how to change a tire and oil. Everybody should know how to change a tire and oil. Those are basic life skills. We teach basic life skills, survivor skills. Boy Scouts, what wood is good for fire? What plants you can ingest and keep you alive, your black butt alive for 24 hours? What chemical you can take when you out in the wild? You can have it in your little canteen, and you can take this nasty, dirty water and put that chemical in there, and it'll be okay for you to drink it, for you can survive for a little bit. What herbs to make if you have indigestion or cold or mucus and things. All these things, herbs for herbology, all these things is being taught. That's culture. And so to take that and for people to say no school, I be like, what type of school you think I'm talking about? Because I'm culture. I ain't talking about there's no 1, 2, 3s, no ABCs. I'm talking about culture. The things that you're not getting at this, where you going. You get this at your advanced studies. You get this at your homeschooling. People can't wait. The kids can't wait to come to their homeschooling, their expertise, their group activities. Hell, I can teach kids self-defense. Been studying Wing Chun, aka sticky hands, for almost 15 years. I'm not a master, but I can teach the kids the basics, teach basic defense, teach basic weapons, teach kids how to be in shape, teach kids how to read, all these things. So for a person to say schooling ain't the key, I say, well, give me a better way. The education is not the key. And please don't start off with religion. Because our kids, Carter G. Woodson said, the miseducation of the Negro. That's the main problem. Who? Our preachers and our teachers. That's misprogramming. And I blame it on the Masons and the fraternity Negroes that won't tell the truth. The miseducation of the Negro. That's the only thing that'll save us is the right science. From history, spirituality, from finance, it's education. If we don't believe that, then that's a problem. And then I ask every person that's on here that got kids or nieces or grandkids, do their kids go to school? Yes. So educating is important? Yes. Education is number one because most of what kids get is from school. They ain't getting nothing from home. Kids ain't getting homeschooled. So whatever they're getting, love or how they look, thinking their skin is beautiful or not beautiful, is coming from where? Schooling, because the parents ain't teaching this at home. Just like the books, Conspiracy to Destroy Black Boys and Girls by Kawunzu. I forget our noble name. I don't want to mispronounce his name, but he wrote a plethora of books. It's still valid today. Why? Because this stuff not being taught at home. So when somebody say, well, not school, so you would just see your kid to church and then they say, what is your kid? Oh, I'm a Christian, not knowing nothing about them. But education is not key. And you got all these levels of programming, and then they call it Head Start. Head Start, the elementary, the middle school, high school. That's a whole, how hard is to deprogram all that when you've been miseducated all through that? If you haven't caught these kids in the right age like I do in elementary and in the 4th grade to give them something to compare to, for us to say education is not it, that's messed up. That's messed up for anybody to say, for anybody out their mouth, no disrespect to no one, but to say, well, school, not education, not the way. I say, well, how is not? How education is not? And a lot of kids, they even go to daycare. So when I say, when you dropping the kid off at daycare, what's being promulgated? Somebody might be at the daycare telling your kid that they ugly as hell. So then they go to daycare, then Head Start, then elementary school, then middle school, then high school. All those years of programming. And so for a person to say school is not it, you got to tell me, well, what's the other way? Because we're supposed to own our charter schools and our spiritual houses. We're supposed to own that. That's our responsibility. And so to say for anybody that look like me and say education is not the way, I think those individuals don't have an education and can be able to speak on these things and say, yes, education is the way. And I could be wrong, because if anybody got an education to say education ain't the way, then clearly you just went to school to get a job or A's and B's. I didn't go get my advanced degrees for that. I got my advanced degrees to show my brothers and sisters what you can use in the right way. Can you learn how to use your brain? And you can take these skills back to your community the same way Haile Selassie, the keeper of Nagas, brought those Ethiopian students or those Abyssinian students to the Americas to get this American education, and they took their butts back where? To Ethiopia, Abyssinia, what? To be the leaders. This is what I'm talking about. To be the leaders, to deal in politics, to make the decisions in the communities, to be the lawyers, the governors, the politicians, to be able to bring these things back in the community. When I tell people, you are a citizen. If you're paying taxes, you got a job, you live in the infrastructure, you got all this stuff going on, but then you're gonna say you a Moroccan. Like, that's crazy. So that means you're not gonna take advantages of everything that I'm talking about. Especially when I talk about our babies, when I ask these men, where do your kids go to? And then I say, forget the men. I talk to the women. The women like, well, they go to this public school? Do they go to some Moorish schools? No. Do they go when these men have these private groups acting like some slave Negro Masons without the kids there? No, the babies don't go with them. No. And this is what I'm telling our brothers and sisters. So to say education is not the key to us, that's why, because most of our brothers are not educated. And most of our brothers are not true 5%ers that's going to teach the truth regardless. Most of our brothers, some of them, not all, went and got that education and went in the private sector. You know, working with the government or doing this and under the faith-based initiatives, some being preachers, some be potentate Masons. That means you took an oath, but I couldn't do that. Because what about our babies? What about the single moms? I sit right next to these people and the same melanated people that look like me, like, well, you the one, you're gonna have to teach them because these brothers took oath off with their head. Now, if you didn't know, then okay, but you know. That's why I don't deal with with grown trolls that I know they playing. That I've done this in academia with European professors 3 times chair over. Like, well, that's the key. Like, your people have to understand it, because all you're talking about is what needs to be done. Charter schools and your religious houses, we tax exempt for the federal government. I can give everybody a tax exempt receipt. I can give everybody a tax exempt receipt, and we can do everything that we say. And then I show people how I solicit community schools to get laptops and get computers and get other professionals to come and offer their time. And I'm able to give them a receipt as in-kind services or accounts receivable. You know, and I can give them a couple money for their time, say, I can give you this for your time. The rest I can drop as in-kind services, and have those professionals come and volunteer time in our community. And I can give them a tax exempt receipt. So they can say, man, you know what? I'd rather just come teach your kids this. If I'm a professional, say I'm dealing with a person that's a finance professor or a law professor at a university, and in their spare time, I say, and they got their organization set up, and I got my organization set up, and I say, well, are you willing to come to my temple school this time of day or these weeks and teach this? And I'm willing to give you a donation for your time and draw up the rest as in-kind service to teach our people the right way so they can be equipped in the world. Just like if you want to learn real gun handling and how to shoot a gun, you're not going to meet no jackleg off the internet that's holding the gun sideways. You're going to want to get a professional. So we're going to have a professional come in and teach us the right way. That's what I am. If you go to school for finances and you want a good professional that teach finances, and it's me, no matter if I got a feds on or not, I'm going to teach the right way. History, science, anything. If your kid needs to learn how to drive, I'm going to teach it the right way. This is what I'm saying. So for a person to say education in school is not the way, to me, that's sad. Then somebody have to tell me another way. That's all somebody have to tell me is sit down with some facts, so I can come with all my curriculum and everything and give me another way to tell me education is not the key. And most of all of our lives, from a certain age to damn near 18, and then some people, especially if they flunk, have to go to school longer. You know, went to school during their 20 years of your life. And I ask a person, what have you learned who you are? Finances, culturally, linguistics, about a lot of figures in your life. All the scholars that I be talking about, most people don't know. So to say education ain't it, that to me is blasphemy. To me, it's blasphemy. And then I can ask a person, what elementary school you went to? What did you learn? Did you learn history? No. What middle school you went to? You can name it. What high school did you go to? What college did you go to? Some people did look college. So out of your life, you went to 1, 2, 3, 4 schools. You went to 4 schools in your life. And so to say education is not the key, tell me another one. Because please don't tell me no religion. I don't want to hear that. Please don't tell me about what No Drawley said or what some goofball. I don't care about none of that, about no ink stuff. I'm from the Morris Science Temple of America. It's only one. We have a state booklet. We have a Declaration of Proclamation. The 1099 ain't no trust fund at the end of the rainbow. You can get the official letter from the county clerk, recorder of deeds, telling you what this stuff is. So I don't be caring what nobody else be saying. All these groups, where school is your kid going to? And if you homeschooling your kid, what are you homeschooling them to go out in the world and do? What are you homeschooling your kid to go out in the world and do? If everybody here got kids and all that, what school do they go to? I bet you they go to an elementary school, a middle school, a high school, and if they do college, it ain't got nothing to do with no more college, no more history, nothing. I bet you these people, kids, nephews, nieces, all of that, don't care about none of this stuff. So that's all I'll be asking people, cultural collaboration. When people be talking about collaborating and you see all these Moorish groups and all this, people don't want to collab because they'll lose power. People don't want to collab because they'll lose power. Yes, you can write a book and you can gather, compile, and divinely prepare stuff that's already written. But as an educator, most of these people are not educators. Most of these people haven't went through that process to be able to put a scholastic piece of work together, to be able to do research and give credit to the researcher. Most people don't even know what APA format is, what annotated bibliographies is, what peer-reviewed scholarly research is. Most people never, ever studied in the Royal Archives and the Library of Congress. That's why everybody is confused. Or linguistics, when you hear Moors arguing over semantics, M-U-U-R, M-O-O-R, M-O-H-R. But just like the Technogrammathon, the Y-H-W-H, at a certain times, vowels wasn't even in language at a certain time. So this stuff be too easy to fact check retire those, fire those. But I don't have to do that. That's why I say education is key, and you can't arbitrarily explain nothing. If law governs all events, 13 different Moors can't have their own perspective. If law governs all events, you have to say what? You might have been sincere and you were sincerely wrong, because you can't arbitrarily explain the law. You cannot arbitrarily explain the law. You can't do that. You have to admit that you weren't right and you didn't research all the way. You were excited, but you can't say you was factual and lawful. If law governs all events, I get a small paper from our science, which most Moors don't have. I just called it out. I said it's law governs all events. Most Moors don't have it, because if they did, the stuff they promulgate, they wouldn't say. That's why they'll try to confuse you and try to say Noble Drew Ali didn't teach this, because they know you don't know. They'll try to say we Moroccans. Well, you can be a Moroccan. I'm a Moorish American. You can say whatever you want about that. However you feel makes me no different. This is what I'll be telling my brothers and sisters. So what school do the kids go to? Wait, all these people that say they sheiks and all this and got this going on. Where do your kid go to school? And what do you teach them every day out the week? That's all I'll be asking these brothers and sisters that be dressed up on the internet. I say, where do your kid go to school? And what you teaching them Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday? They show me the curriculum. They can't. So I'll be like, man, you don't got to get over here and try to convince me or argue with me, because I don't give a damn. I've been trying to tell people something that's real. What? Education is it. That's the only way. What? Education, skills, to be able to bring these skills back to our communities so we can barter, so we can have our own institutions, so we can have our own books, so we can have our own literature, so we can buy this plight in our neighborhood that the Negroes tore up, and we can fix them up, and we can move the single moms and the seniors back in our community and bring husband and wives in the community again. That's the mission. Because everything else I see is old Negroes on the internet arguing. I heard some dude arguing, talking about the dude, Cannon Bay. I told you that was crap. Then I heard the other dude like, and they won't debate me. And I debate all of them. I said, see, this is what I'm talking about. These old men. And everybody had a makeshift this. And this person is the grand sheik of this. That ain't Moorish Science Temple of America. That's something you made. Our prophet taught us that we Moorish Americans. What's our race? Asiatic. What's our status? Free white. If you ain't rocking with that and understand history, then you got to say you the Moorish Inc., or you this, that, and the other, or your group, or you some USAR, or you whatever that you say you are. And I tell people to stay over there with that, because I'm not going to debate that. That's a waste of my time. After these people dress up and judge robes, do all this, I still say, where are the kids going to school? And what's being built in the community? And when I come to the neighborhood that the big mama lived in, that you live in, the house that your mama stayed in, I'm asking, what do people own in the community? It ain't nothing. So I don't care about playing dress up. And every year, a person that go rent a hall, talk about this an annual convention. Negroes don't own nothing. I'm talking about in the community that we stay in, what's going on? Where is the charter school? Where the houses that when people get out of jail and they need a place to stay, recovery houses, where they at? Because in my city of Flint, the Muslims been had the Muslim house forever. I know more, the Moorish Science Temple don't even be freaking open. But when I deal with other groups, the Muslim house be open. When the Muslim brothers get out of jail, they come to the Muslim house. The brother, the imam of the Muslim house, he give them brothers tunic. He showed them brothers resume writing if they looking for jobs. A lot of people that got their truck driver license, all the stuff that they do to be productive in the community, so they can start doing things and reaching back and start mentoring kids to show them not to make the mistakes. All these things. But where the Moors at? Where all these Moors that be saying that they done written all these books? Where the Moors at? Because I'm in my city. People can look me up. I'll be in the streets. I got my own mission. Before this Moor stuff was popular, I used to be in the streets supporting, mentoring, going to schools, going to churches, going to the prisons back in the city of Flint, in Lapeer, Thumb Correctional Facility. Look me up. Off my organization, going to the prisons, talking to the people, because nobody else would do it. The Thumb Correctional Facility on my own dime. And in them prisons, they allowed the prisoners to listen to my videos. I'm telling you, because I ain't teaching you no paper terrorist stuff. I ain't teaching people no Roger Elvin, you can follow this piece of paper. No, you're going to go to jail and you're going to be in worse situations than what you were before. Because Noble Drew Ali ain't teach no paper terrorist criminal stuff. He ain't teaching all the fake stuff, man. Nobody got time for no fake stuff. I just told y'all no man has the power to nationalize you and denationalize you. It'll change you from the descendant nature of their foremothers and your forefathers. Tell them to nationalize the Sudanese, the Chinese. Tell them to nationalize one of my homies that's from where he from? It'll come to me. Because I did their wedding. They are from, it's a European country. Oh, Bosnia. They Bosnian Americans and they have dual citizenship. And I'll be telling these Negroes, you a Moroccan, you talk about you some Moroccan national, which is an oxymoron. Show me your dual citizenship. Show me your dual citizenship. If you say you some Moroccan and all this, I'll be like, dude, I don't have time to play no games. I have time for real solutions. And this is what I tell people, we can do a good. You know, we can do a solid, we can build real infrastructure. We can teach our babies, we can teach adults, we can feed the seniors, we can do all that. But the thing is we need to pick our community and change our community so the people can be in the community. So we can do things in our community and we can have our religious community in our neighborhoods, in the so-called misnomer urban neighborhoods. I'm from the city of Flint. So when people be saying, well, link up with Detroit, but I'm from the city of Flint. And I give everybody respect, well, but I'm from Flint. And, you know, I don't have to go to Detroit and help Detroiters. The Detroiters are helping the Detroiters. I'm from the city of Flint. I got blood in the city of Flint. It's a Morris Zion temple in the city of Flint that ain't doing what it's supposed to. I challenge my people all over the world that say, I know we can do as a blueprint, as a prototype. It's too many old churches that's abandoned in my city that people done left because the population only about 70,000. I know the school's not teaching the kids nothing because I go to the schools. I know a lot of these programs, this foster care, all this, I work in it. All those live-in facilities, I ain't gonna say the names. I'll just say all of them. I don't care which one a person get on here. If they say, well, they work for this live-in facility, then I'm gonna start telling you what's happening in a facility. The same ones out in Arizona. I know it's a money grab and I know it's no recovery. And every kid that went through that system, none of them been recovered. And 99.9% of the kids that's in foster care, they don't get adopted. What happened? They just age out of the facility. But once you get a certain age in Arizona, your ass out in the streets. That's what happened to most of the kids. So all that time when they're young, they going from foster home to foster home, and all the bull crap is going on. That's what's happening. And then when they get a certain age, you age out of it. But we have our temple and schools and our homes for young adults that's transitioning. Just like when brothers getting out of jail, we can do the same thing. All the houses in our neighborhood that I tell people, when you're under a certain auspices, the religious laws, the city will give you plight houses. When you're doing community work, if you say it's going to be for low-income moms and for community service and for mentoring, and you're going to have this facility for to help kids ADHD or kids that in foster care, you're going to have these programs where through your church or through your temple or school, you don't have to deal with government mandated programs, and you can get grants for that, and the people can support with the money that we give Uncle Sam. This is the infrastructure that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about nothing else with no one. I don't care. I could care less of these old people talking this paper stuff. Like, I'm done with all these mores this. I'm done with all these fictitious people on the internet, on these podcasts, talking about you can file this and file that. That's paper terrorist stuff. And it's only old Negroes that's damn near 50 years old. It's only women that's older. These ain't no kids that's done been told they're wrong. These are adults still playing this dumbass conscious community game. Still playing this paper terrorist stuff. Oh, I'm some Sharifian officer. Y'all saw that lady get arrested on the internet. Y'all know her name? Come on now, we gotta stop playing, y'all. It's a way to do things and a way to do it the right way. But when my people say school and think school ain't the key, you crazy. Just like if you think when I say church and I say the people is the church, it's what's inside the school. It's what's being taught in the school. So school is the key. It's just a problem that the school that you're going to and the school that you may be sending your kid, you ain't learning a goddamn thing, but you continue to send your kids there. You continue to spend all your money there. You continue, oh, somebody invited me to church, you go. Your kid, well, I got this kid and my grandson or my daughter, I'm going to send them to this public school. Yeah, you. And that's where what happens. The same conversation, complain, and we'll pick one bad apple. We'll pick one rotten apple that said he was going to do things. But I know a plethora of people that don't open charter schools. I know regular people. I know a dude started a charter school with 2 buses that he converted in his yard, on his property, turned into charter schools right on his land. So what people talking about? Only thing we talk about is stupid ass social media. Only people be talking about is Umar Johnson, because that's all Negroes know, because Negroes not real. You social media. I don't got enough hands and toes to name off people that got charter schools right now today. That's making a difference in their neighborhood, that took little small units and teaching kids small. When I say small, 30, 40 kids in a community, and they use the church. I know families doing it right now. So when a person say the schooling ain't it, I say, yes, it is. School is it. Education is it. How it's structured. Who's teaching? That's the only way. How did you learn to read? Most people ain't learn to read at home with their mama. They have to learn to read at school. They learn how to read at school. How you learn to tell time? At school. Most of this stuff people learn at school, especially if you didn't get it at home, which most people didn't get because most people's parents didn't have the time. I hear a lot of people, they say, well, they mom was on dope, crack, this, and that, and the other. Or they have to work 4, 5, 13 jobs. You just heard my Mufti say a lot of parents don't even have these conversations. So if the kid's not having these conversations at home, what's being learned? What's being taught? Nothing. So I want to close right there. I've been going for a minute. I have so much to say, but this is the realm I'm going in. When I tell a lot of educators, I said, man, go and get your substitute license or attack the charter school sector and then start working with us because it's getting ready to happen. And then start applying for grants to do these things in the city because the money go back. It's funded in a hardest hit fund. It's funded to teach our kids. But we got all these old people just talking a whole bunch of poor science, paperwork, paper terrorist crap. We got a whole bunch of people dressed up doing the stupid stuff like they the authority over who you are. And ain't nobody on the internet that you met no authority over you. I don't give a damn if they no man, no woman with no stupid ass seal. I don't care. As I close, I'm telling y'all that. I don't give a damn about no Negro that they went and got some seal from Office Max or Staples. I don't give a damn if they say it for some seal from Noble Ali. It don't mean nothing if your heart ain't right, because I'm from the temple. It's only one temple. It's only one prophet. And if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. Can't nobody get up here and say they the officials of the Moorish Science Temple of America. And if it ain't no real Moorish Science Temple of America in their city or their state, and they won't show you their paperwork from the Moorish Science Temple of America. This is what I'm telling y'all. So I love y'all, man, once again. And the Moorish Science Temple of America have a tax exempt ID. And we have a member ID. And we have a national ID. We have 3 pieces of ID. And if anybody from the temple, your paperwork tell you what you can teach. I show it all the time. Anything else, you must be educated or a professional in that to teach somebody some law, some civics. You must be a professional in that. Anything else, you teach the people their nationality, their spirituality, everything else is it. Point blank. So I love y'all. If there are any questions my brothers and sisters have, I thank everybody for taking time out their day. But you can't sit up here and tell me education is not key. And out here in Arizona, they got the damn Herd Museum where they show how they took all the indigenous people, cut their goddamn hair off, took all their clothes off, and make them go under some European stuff. Out here at the Herd Museum, where they took all the indigenous people and stripped them from their culture, killed a lot of them. I can take y'all places where they got damn burial sites of kids. So nobody don't sit up here and tell me what's been happening. I know what happened in real life. They got it, they showing depicting it at the Herd Museum. And you sit here telling me education ain't key. When I be meeting all my misnomer Indian people, when they don't know their culture and history. Why? Because a lot of them that came out here, well, they didn't know that this was their land and colonizers took it over. They was cutting their hair, taking their clothes off, putting them in sack like little suit jackets and stuff, and miseducating them, stripping their culture away. That's why I ask people, do y'all know Indigenous People Week when that happened every year? Because that's what I celebrate. I celebrate Indigenous People Week with my indigenous people. Where? In America, every year. I celebrate it every year. This is what I be asking people. I say, dude, I'm culture. I understand about the United of Nations of who we are. This is the United of Asia. When I tell people my culture, I understand culture. That's how I'm able to work with all people. Just like you got the misnomer Indian, the misnomer Mexican, the misnomer Chaldean, whatever you want to call it. If a person that has an expertise like dealing with kids with ADHD, or if they all believe in the inner science, that's why I teach them. And this is why I'm telling y'all. This is what I'm telling people. Stop being a troll. Support something that's real. Education is the only key. As I close, education is the only key. That's the only way. And Carter G. Woodson told us the miseducation of the Negro. Read the book, y'all. I be seeing everybody holding the book up, but I know Negroes only got a 20-minute attention span and they only look at pictures. Read The Miseducation of the Negro, the whole book. Read it all and see what we need to do. We need to own what? Our spiritual houses and our schools. And it's already set up that way. So I love y'all, man. Thanks for taking time out y'all day for listening to me. I know I was a little bit winded today, but that was just on my heart as I'm getting in this education sector and I'm seeing it, especially the charter schools and the spiritualists I taught. Man, I got my master's degree from Grand Canyon University, family. I lecture this and Europeans being open ears and I'm teaching them. I have clients that these parents said that they ADHD and I teach them. And they don't have a problem with paying me $400 a month. They don't have a problem because they're getting real results. And I thought that's what this is about. Real results. Not no one to say, well, they this and that and the other. And they can show you how to get in shape and you working with them for a year and you're not in shape. And you can work out with me. And if you're honest, I'm gonna get you in shape in 3 to 6 months. You're gonna see real results. Why? Because I'm gonna change you within. Because I give real results as long as you're gonna have accountability. Because nothing I'm gonna teach you is bad for you. Everything I'm gonna teach you has been proven right. You just have to get in the house and live in it. And that's why we have a problem. When I tell people why, because people don't want to say education is the key. And they'll say, well, religion, and religion is not the key. We don't have religion forever. The damn KKK and damn Muslims, the damn Arab slave trade and all this, they don't have religion. That's not it. Education, building community, understanding what we can do with our dollars while we getting it to Uncle Sam, understanding these tax codes when people hold me accountable. So we can teach our infrastructure and we don't have to worry about nobody else. So I love y'all. Thank y'all for taking time out y'all day. Allah, the Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah, my protector, my God, and my salvation. By night and by day, through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Shalom alaikum. Aya Ashaya. Peace, peace, peace.
Peace.
Anybody wanted anything to share anything as we close? Y'all, we good?
Just peace and love. Appreciate your time. This is the road less traveled. But I can assure you from personal experience, it's well worth the journey. It's well worth the journey. So you learn more about yourself than in any aspect or any other time in life. And so if you really want to know self,
and it's an honor to you, Noble, for taking time out your day, for being a father and being that example for all of us men when things may not go right with the other half, and you show how men step up and be a father to your child. This is what I tell people. I got examples in real time. My Noble on here is a father. Things might not have went the right way with the relationship and things, but that man is right there with his daughter, raising his child while he's in the science, teaching her, not jamming things down his child's mouth, but giving his daughter something to compare to where she's going to have a sound mind. Why? Because she's been seeing it. She hear it. Here it is. His daughter called me sheep. I'm one of the uncles. It's family. Here it is. His daughter got a fez. His daughter know the history because she's experienced it. You only can talk about things that you experienced, and his daughter have more experience than anyone. His daughter can say, well, I've been around my dad and them and all the more. No, I've been around Uncle Sheep. No, you lying. They don't be doing that. People love them. No. My dad is a referee. Sheep is an educator. My uncle Lamar is a coach. No, like these real men. My other Mufti just had a daughter. So, no, man. So I give honor to you, Lamar, for being a witness in what we're doing. I give honor for being your brother and for seeing you do this in real time. I give you love and honor because I didn't have the luxury to do this. And I wasn't on this level of who I am when my daughter was being brought up. Now I'm a granddad. And me and my daughter, we've been best friends for a long time. But to see this and to see you doing this with your child, because I had to go through my many phases when I was a young man. My daughter getting ready to be 24. Actually 25. So it's just amazing to see you, the man that you are today. And I can look back in retrospect and see the man that I was. And I just see so much difference in the difference and the time and Allah's time when a man coming into higher self when he has a child. So I give you honor, I give you respect, I give you glory once again, man, and just peace. You can take us out, brother.
No, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to Sheik, Empress, Mama Bay, Papa Bay, taking us in and allowing us the space to start the healing process and to kind of grow from that. Because a lot of people need a lot of healing. So with that, I just say, peace and love to everybody.
That I say peace and love. Y'all know how to get with me. I know it's kind of blurry on the system, but subscribe to our Tippler School page on YouTube, Burning Bush Tabernacle Sign Tippler School. What you say, Nova, you said it all. Ain't nothing to say when the truth come out. Gratitude. Real talk. It ain't nothing to say when the truth come out. But gratitude, y'all. If y'all like to support our Tippler School, y'all know how to do it. Any donation that you give, all you got to do is inbox me. I'm going to give you some literature. If you don't have a fez or a turban, please get with us. But anything, y'all, like I said, don't be a stranger. You don't have to be a stranger danger. We real people. I love y'all once again. Thank y'all for your time. Take us out, brother.
I'm a spirit speaking, truth seeking, heart reaching, knowledge leaking, seeds sowing, harvest reaping, man of meager means. I have yet to leave, I'm still breathing. To quit, I have no reason. I'm asleep, but I be trying to live my dreams. I cannot even act if it's all easy. Either you gon' do it or you don't. Really, it ain't no in between. Baby, you can ask the sun, it's an everyday theme. Consistency in your routine is how you bring reality. Working like a slave, that's how I made this masterpiece. Living like a god, I lay at night